Executive Chairman Tom Rogers. He's also a former NBC cable president and a CNBC contributor, a Fast Money friend. And now we should note the executive chairman of a publicly traded company, Engine Media, just listed today. So congratulations on that, Tom. Before we get to that, I do want to ask you about the media space. Sun Valley is going on right now. Will any deals come out of it, you think?
Well, there's usually conversation that if there isn't an immediate deal announcement, there's something that lingers and ultimately turns into a deal announcement. So maybe months down the road, but there'll be conversations that lead to some deals. You
want to give us a prediction of what conversations will linger?
Well, traditional media has a lot of challenges, so traditional media has got to find a new path, and when companies find that they need a new path, usually they find their way to some deals. So something involving traditional media going someplace is my broadest prediction.
Okay. Karen, you got a question for Tom?
Well, I do. I'm going to take your broadest prediction and just overlap that with something I have in my portfolio, which is Viacom. And so, you saw the crazy ride that the stock had, maybe having nothing to do with valuation whatsoever, but they did do an offering. They did raise some money. But do you see them as, will this still be a public company? I'll give you a lot of time. In 5 years?
My guess is that they will have to find a path to value beyond being independent, but I wouldn't think that would necessarily happen near term. They have some very challenged cable assets, some of the more challenged cable assets, particularly in the kids area, and they have a sub-scale streaming effort that's gaining a little momentum, but clearly on its own, it's going to be very difficult, I think, to break into the top 4 or 5 streaming services that people have in their homes. So I would keep my eye on that one as something in the intermediate term that transacts in some way.
Hey, Tom, it's Dan. Congrats on the listing here at the NASDAQ for Engine Media. Listen, you've combined some really hot trends in digital trends together with esports and gaming, and you have the programmatic advertising. You're doing it with an influencer bolt-on here. Tell us about why all those pieces work so well together and the opportunity, specifically, I guess, in esports, too.
Well, thanks, Dan. Well, we've talked on the show about media trends. We've talked on the show about gaming trends. What Engine Media really is a combination of gaming and media assets where the two really reinforce each other. And each has a differentiated way for people to play the gaming sector and how the media world reinforces the gaming sector. So we have a company that provides viewing experiences for people who are watching sports on TV and gamifies it. The same for the hundreds of millions of global viewers of esports and gamifies that. We have a platform that allows esports competitors to play against each other, major tournaments that we hold for the likes of Tencent's Riot and Microsoft, and we broadcast those tournaments out to the fans of the esports world, which again are hundreds of millions. A lot of people thought that the esport viewing trend was a pandemic thing that would fizzle. We're actually seeing that viewership across the major esports platforms, Twitch, Facebook Gaming, YouTube Gaming, are actually up 80% year over year as we're coming out of the pandemic. So as you said, Dan, we also combine that with how to reach influencers in a gaming environment, how to sell programmatic advertising in a gaming environment. Very importantly, the data and analytics for gaming that are so important for media companies to navigate how they reach the younger demographics that are there. So it's really a collection of businesses where gaming meets media, how the two reinforce each other with, again, a very differentiated way of playing the gaming sector.
Ticker's Game, up 80% year on year. That's just staggering, Tom. Thanks for joining us. Always good to see you.
Well, we got game and we have the symbol game, so it's great to allow me to talk about game with you guys.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.